She thought she was doing the neighborhood a favor by getting rid of an eyesore on her pristine street. What she didn't realize was that the truck she had towed away wasn't just any vehicle. It contained 2 encrypted hard drives, 3 hidden cameras, and classified surveillance gear linked to a federal racketeering investigation. And the kicker? That case had her name in the evidence file. Oh, and the guy she gloated about putting in his place? That's me, the federal prosecutor heading the case against her entire HOA board. When I moved into the neighborhood, I wasn't looking for trouble. I'd just finished a grueling 2-year case, chasing white-collar crooks who grinned for the cameras while pocketing millions. All I wanted was peace, maybe a few nights without poring over affidavits or listening to wiretaps. The house I found was nestled in a quiet gated community just outside the city. It was the kind of place where lawns were manicured to perfection, flags hung just right, and everyone's smiles felt a little forced. It came with an HOA, which I figured was a minor annoyance for some calm. I couldn't have been more wrong. On my second day, I met Lisa. She swept in like a politician stumping for votes, clipboard in hand, sunglasses perched on her head like a tiara, and a smile that flickered at the corners. Ignoring the "Do Not Disturb" sign I'd taped to my gate, she rang the bell 3 times in quick succession, like she was testing my reflexes. I opened the door mid-bite, holding a half-eaten sandwich, dressed in gym shorts. Her eyes scanned me up and down like I was a product she was sizing up. "Hi there, I'm Lisa, HOA president," she said. "I noticed your truck out front. Just a heads up, it violates several of our appearance guidelines." I blinked. Appearance guidelines? She flipped open a laminated packet like she was about to read me the law. Section 4B of the HOA code states all visible vehicles must be garaged or meet aesthetic standards. No visible rust, aftermarket decals, or commercial attachments. I didn't respond right away. The truck she was nitpicking wasn't some beat-up junker. It was a blacked-out federal surveillance vehicle with encrypted GPS, heat-sensing panels, and a reinforced data vault in the bed. Sure, it looked weathered, but that was intentional. A spy truck doesn't work if it screams high-tech. "I'm not sure that applies," I said evenly. "That vehicle's government property." Her smile didn't waver. "Government or not, HOA rules apply here. I'm sure you'll understand." She handed me a pink violation notice like it was a party invite, then turned and strutted off as if she owned the block. I could have stopped it right there, flashed my badge, told her who she was messing with, but I didn't. In my line of work, letting people ramble can pay off. When they think you're a nobody, they reveal everything. Over the next week, Lisa ramped up her campaign. Every morning, I'd find a new violation notice, taped to my door, tucked under my windshield wiper, or stuffed in my mailbox. Unapproved window tinting. Mailbox slightly off-center. Truck still in view. One even fined me for a hose coiled too irregularly on its hanger. I ignored most of it, but kept a tally of every move she made. Something about her set off alarm bells louder than a raid siren. It wasn't just her control-freak tendencies. It was how she operated, like someone hiding a mess under a perfect facade. Then came the day I got back from a 3-day assignment. I pulled up to my driveway, remote in hand, ready for the gate to slide open. Except the gate was gone. The chain was sliced clean through, the federal issue lock shattered on the ground, bolt cutter work, left out like a calling card. My first thought was a break-in, but the house was untouched, doors locked, cameras blinking, no forced entry. The driveway, though? Empty. The truck was missing. I checked with the police. No impound, no tow log. Then I logged into the HOA portal. There it was, a smug post from Lisa. Truck at 314 Maple removed after 72 hours of noncompliance. Deemed an eyesore and safety risk. Owner repeatedly warned. Removal authorized by HOA president. She'd signed it like a royal decree. I stared at that post for a solid minute, then laughed, not because it was funny, but because it was absurd. The gall, the sheer ignorance. She'd cut a federal lock, trespassed, and towed government property, all while crowing about it online. That truck wasn't just gear. It held active case files for a RICO investigation I'd been building for over a year. Property fraud, embezzlement, kickbacks, and more. A case quietly eyeing her HOA board. Thanks to Lisa's petty power trip, she'd handed me probable cause on a silver platter. I could have ended it then, called in the cavalry, but I held off. Sometimes, you let people dig their own graves. Lisa had just kicked open a door she couldn't shut, and I was ready to step through. Every move she made after towing that truck tightened the noose around her neck. She'd cracked open a federal case she didn't even know existed, all while gloating on an HOA forum. People like her, obsessed with control, never stop to check if they're holding a live grenade. I started slow and quiet. Using a burner email, I filed a public inquiry asking for towing documentation. The HOA's reply was predictably smug, a PDF with Lisa's digital signature, claiming the truck was abandoned and a visual threat to neighborhood harmony. I chuckled at that one. Only Lisa could turn a parked vehicle into a suburban crime wave. Next, I visited the tow company, Gibson's Auto Recovery, a dusty lot with a tin roof office and mechanics bickering over barbecue sauce. Dressed in jeans and a faded cap, I played the annoyed homeowner. The owner, Cliff, a balding guy with a beer gut, remembered the job instantly. "Oh yeah, that one," he said, scratching his neck. Lady was real pushy. Showed up with papers, said the truck was blocking a fire lane. I raised an eyebrow. Fire lane? It was in a gated driveway. Cliff shrugged. She had that official vibe, clipboard, buzzwords like non-compliance and safety. Paid cash, too. Never seen that before. Cash. HOAs don't pay cash. They invoice, document, leave paper trails. This was personal. I pressed Cliff until he showed me the truck, dumped in a fenced-off corner. Dirty, dented, but intact. I unlocked the hidden compartment. Drive secure, cameras untouched. She had no clue what she'd stolen. Back home, I dug into the HOA's public financials. On paper, it looked spotless, but I'm not a casual browser. The beautification fund Lisa championed caught my eye. Tens of thousands funneled yearly into vague line items, landscaping upgrades, decorative maintenance. I cross-checked vendors with state records. First hit, Greenleaf Designs, a supposed landscaping firm paid $9,200 for entryway enhancements. No tax ID, no license, just a PO box and a bank routing number tied to an out-of-state credit union. Things were heating up. A quick subpoena pulled transaction data. Greenleaf's account linked to HOA funds, then siphoned to private accounts. Lisa's, the treasurer's, the vice president's. Embezzlement, fraud, maybe conspiracy. I wasn't done yet. Posing as James Carter, a real estate investor, I emailed Lisa about building boutique homes nearby, hinting I'd need HOA flexibility. She bid in under 10 minutes. We met at a cafe. I wore a sharp suit. She rocked a pearl necklace and a smug grin. She bragged about her sway, how she'd flipped the HOA's useless rules. "Want to bend the rules? I'm your girl," she said over her soy latte. 10 grand up front, untraceable. I'll get you whatever you need. Bribery, daylight bold. I smiled. Dash cam footage from the truck sealed it. Lisa, bolt cutters in hand, snapping the lock, ranting about setting an example, saying, "Let him call the cops. I am the cops here." Pure gold. I sent the footage and docs to my task force lead. The game was on. I could have arrested her, but I wanted the whole corrupt web, her downfall, step by step, her arrogance paving the way. The neighborhood's private Facebook group was my next stop. As Emily Stone, a new divorcee, I slipped in, greeted by flower emojis and Lisa's, "Welcome to the best-run HOA in the county." The irony was rich. Residents griped about petty fines, trash bins out too long, unpainted fences, but Lisa's cheery threats, "Harmony begins with compliance," silenced them. A blurry photo of wilted flowers sparked board praise, but one guy, Tom, commented, "Saw those in your trunk last week, Lisa." His post and profile vanished fast. At the next HOA meeting, I sat quietly as Lisa ran the show. When the treasurer mentioned a $32,000 maintenance budget, I asked, "Who's getting the contracts?" Lisa faltered. "Local vendors, vetted. Names." I pressed. She dodged, promising transparency later. Her flicker of panic told me everything. Subpoenas confirmed the beautification fund was a sham. Payments to Lisa's boyfriend for consulting. Fake landscaping firms tied to board members. A tech van scan revealed a private server in her home. A utility team installed a data repeater, unlocking emails. Lisa extorting residents, mocking them as trash and wannabes. She even ridiculed a mom for seeking leniency for her disabled son. I leaked key evidence to a local journalist. The story exploded. HOA president probed for fraud, abuse. Lisa flailed at an emergency meeting, sweating through denials, but residents smelled blood. The courtroom showdown was next. Lisa's Craigslist lawyer, Greg, in a baggy tan suit, claimed the HOA was sovereign. The judge wasn't amused. I laid out the case, financials, recordings, her voice trashing neighbors. The truck's video, her snapping the lock, laughing, left the room silent. Witnesses flipped. The treasurer admitted falsifying records under threats. The vice president sobbed, confessing to kickbacks. On the stand, Lisa spun tales of smears and misunderstandings. I asked, was calling residents suburban trash a misunderstanding? She froze. The jury deliberated 27 minutes. Guilty on all counts: fraud, embezzlement, obstruction, bribery. 15 years, plus 3 months for faking a collapse. Post-trial, the neighborhood exhaled. A new leader, Marco, a retired Marine, took over. No nonsense, transparent books, real community focus. They parked my truck for a picnic, dubbed it the truck that toppled tyranny. Lisa's prison letters, wild rants, became a local joke. I moved on, promoted, leaving the lock Marco gifted me as a memento. Thanks for the evidence. Justice started with a truck and ended with a neighborhood reclaiming itself. Proof that people never forget how you make them feel. Lisa learned that the hard way.